Um, this is a geometric problem with an isosceles triangle. You got to try to remember those names. And you should try to do that before you run into the GED test. You should know what a scalene triangle is. That's a triangle, three-sided figure with three different sizes. You have an equilateral triangle, which all the sides are the same. They're all equal. And you have an isosceles triangle. And a good way, I think, of remembering the difference between them all is like, there's a little word clue here. Iso, meaning like isolated or insulated. Iso. Iso means like the word isolated. And this side right here is isolated because it's different than these two. These two are the same on an isosceles triangle, but this guy's different. It's isolated, okay? On a scalene, everything's different. On an equilateral, they're all equal, okay? So here's an isosceles triangle. So this guy and this guy are going to be the same. We could do this. This is legal. If this is x, then that means that's going to be x too. You got to get over the language before you can do the math. And I love that my filmer, he's a great guy here, he wrote this down because math does indeed rule. I've had a number of students that were really good in science that went on to college and they tried to polish off a career in science and found themselves in serious trouble because they couldn't do the math. Math and science go hand in hand. So if you're thinking about any kind of career that involves science, you better get down with the math because it does indeed rule. Thank you, Damien, for putting that up there. Reminds me. And I'm glad you think it rules because indeed it does. So now if we start putting values in here, just start plunking values in. If this is 8, then this has got to be 8. That would be 8 and 8 is 16. And then another 12 would give us 28 for a perimeter. Perimeter means all the way around something. I had a good friend of mine that was in Vietnam and he said, yeah, we got gooks on the perimeter. You know, he wrote it in a letter and I meant, what the heck is it? Well, I knew what a gook was. I mean, it's North Vietnamese. And a perimeter means on the outside of their fort, they had like a fence around the outside of the fort. And I always remembered the name perimeter because that was on the very outside, the distance, all the way around, perimeter. All the way around the outside. So if 8 plugs in here for these sides of the isosceles triangle, then 8 and 8 is 16, and then 12 more is going to give us 28. Is 28 an option for a perimeter? No. So that eliminates 8. Let's try 10. So let's plug 10 in here where the x is. So 10 and 10 would be 20. And then another 12 would be 32. Is that an option? Ooh, there's a bingo right there, isn't it? See the bingo? I do. It's right here looking at us. So I'm figuring that x is 10. 10 and 10 is 20. 10 more is 32. And then our second program, a perimeter is going to be 32 on this whole deal. So there's a match. We don't have to go any further and don't waste any time. Move on to the next problem. Bam.